Hello, everybody, and welcome to another elPablo FC episode. And basically, we're going to be doing the La Liga Match Day 8 review. We're going to be analytical about this and talk about all the games that went on and what has been happening and what it will do to shape the table as it stands right now in La Liga, and also the narratives that go with the game. Today we're going to be analyzing basically just briefly Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid topping the table, Barcelona crumbling and being crushed. Atletico Madrid also struggling a little bit after picking up form, and then Girona, as well as the broader perspective and implications of the match day, and basically just give you the standings and stuff. But yeah, and we might potentially talk about what we learned from match day 8 of the Spanish La Liga. So let's get right to it. So as we break down these games and the events that have happened, Real Madrid actually currently sits top of La Liga. And after match day 8 of the 25-26 season, demonstrating a strong form and consistency and basically resilience, as well as coming back from a 5-2 defeat to Atletico Madrid. However, key results across the leagues this weekend have just introduced some intriguing dynamics into the early race and the battle for European qualification. For the key games, we're talking Real Madrid versus Villarreal. Real Madrid thumped Villarreal 3-1 over with and this was actually a crucial bounce back performance after the 5-2 defeat that I said earlier to Atletico Madrid the previous weekend. Vinicius Jr was instrumental, scoring a brace, and then Kylian Mbappé continued his sensational form by finding the net for a record ninth consecutive game. This win underscored Real Madrid's offensive prowess and their resilience is recovering from setbacks. Real Madrid were also injury plagued, but it is what it is. It's one thing that we could basically just talk about, but at the end of the day, Real Madrid actually came up clutch and won. And Mbappe showed that he can actually still score, whether he gets a penalty or not. Because plaudits are already calling him Pembappe or Mbappen or whatever you want to call him. But obviously, he showed that he doesn't need a penalty to score. He scored, and he has scored for 9 games consecutively, showing how lethal and dangerous he is under Xabi Alonso. Then the next game we'll talk about is Sevilla versus Barcelona. Well, you know what? I'm gonna leave that to towards the end or for later. Now, for the next game is Celta Vigo shocking Atletico Madrid with a draw. Atletico Madrid's draw against Celta Vigo raises questions about their title aspirations. While they have they have been impressive in recent wins and all of that, but dropping points against struggling Celta, even after an early red card from Clement Longley, demonstrates a potential lack of ruthlessness. The result leaves Atletico 8 points off the league leaders. Already adrift, right? And then for Girona versus Valencia, Girona got their first win of the season, a narrow victory against Valencia, showcasing their potential to compete for the European spots. And then, obviously, to the game that shocked everyone in the weekend, that was Sevilla versus Barcelona. Barcelona suffered a surprising 4-1 defeat to Sevilla, ending their 7-match unbeaten run in La Liga, despite creating chances, including a penalty missed by Robert Lewandowski. Barcelona struggled defensively and allowed Sevilla to capitalize on counterattacks. This defeat highlights potential vulnerabilities in Barcelona's squad, especially given the recent injury list impacting key offensive players. Now, if we're going to talk deeper into that game, basically, if we're going to talk deeper into the game, we could say that Barcelona basically just did not turn up on the day. That is what it is. And they have shown that they cannot handle attack, massive marauding attacks. Everybody expected Barcelona to kind of like um, run through Sevilla. What I mean by run through, I mean run through Sevilla, but they didn't. Barcelona missed a chance to return to the top of La Liga after being thrashed by Sevilla. Needing a victory to claim leadership from Real Madrid, the defending champions suffered the worst loss against Sevilla since the 4-0 defeat in 1951. Robert Lewandowski missed a second half penalty for Barcelona after Marcus Rashford had scored a left-footed volley in the first half stoppage time to give them hope of turning things around from a 2-goal deficit. Hansi Flick's side were second best, for long periods and deservedly fell to their first league defeat of the campaign against a side who had not beaten them in the Spanish top flight for just over a decade, so for more than 10 years. Former Barcelona winger Alexis Sanchez opened the scoring from the penalty spot after visiting captain Ronald Araujo had bundled Isaac Romero over by the byline. Romero himself swept in the second goal from an incisive counter-attack before Rashford replied from Pedri's back post cross. However, a well-drilled home defense kept Barcelona at bay until Lewandowski put his spot kick wide after former Manchester United winger Adnan Januzaj had fouled Alejandro Balde. And when Jose Angel Carmona and Ako Adams scored in the closing minutes, it compounded a miserable afternoon for Barcelona, who came into the contest after a midweek Champions League defeat by holders Paris Saint-Germain, which takes them to a back-to-back defeat in two games in all competitions. Barca remained 2 points adrift of Real Madrid, while Sevilla are fifth, but could be overtaken by Atletico Madrid if they beat Celta Vigo on Sunday's late game. And guess what? Nothing happened. They didn't get overtaken by Celta Vigo. So, yeah. And the same Sevilla had the likes of let's look at that lineup. The same Sevilla had the likes of former Chelsea defender and former right back who plays as center back as well. Just trying to get the name quickly. And then he also had Alexis Sanchez, former Barcelona and Manchester United player. So they had Azpilicueta in defense, center back. And Lucien Agume got an assist as well, Manchester United target. So, yeah, it is what it is. Sanchez got a goal, Romero got a goal, Vargas got an assist, Agume got an assist, and you have Carmona who got a goal as well, and then Ako Adams got a goal, and Chidera Ejuke at the 90th minute, came in as a 90th minute sub, still got a goal. So, which takes us to the next one, which is let's talk about basically the standings. So for now, Real Madrid are top, 8 games played, 7 wins, 0 losses, 0 draws, 1 loss, with 19 goals and 19 goals for, 19 goals against, plus 10. Barcelona, 8 games played, 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, 22 goals, 9 goals conceded, minus 13. Villarreal, 8 games, their third, 8 games, 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, 2 losses, 14 goals, plus 6. Real Betis are fourth, 8 games, 4 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss, 13 goals rather, minus 5. And Atletico Madrid, 8 games, 5th, 8 games, 3 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss, 15 goals, 10 against, minus and plus 5. So that is the standing. And top scorers, we have Kylian Mbappé at 9 with 2 assists, with 2 penalties, 2 assists in 8 matches. Julian Alvarez, 6, no penalties, 1 assist, 7 matches. And Vinny Jr., third with 5, no penalties, with 5, 1 penalty, 4 assists, and 7 in 7 matches. Now, the broader implications of this is that Real Madrid is dominating. Broader implication and outlook: Real Madrid is dominating. Real Madrid have established itself as a team to beat early in the season, showing both individual brilliance and tactical flexibility under Xabi Alonso, and the return to winning ways as well after the derby loss against Atletico Madrid, which demonstrates their resilience and title aspirations. While Barcelona has its own challenges as well. Their financial constraints are growing, and injury lists are also creating early difficulties for Hansi Flick or Hansi Flick's team. The heavy defeat to Sevilla, a team struggling for home wins, suggests potential weaknesses that need addressing potentially, and particularly in defense. While they still possess a deep squad, the current situation raises concerns about their ability to sustain a title challenge over a demanding season. Meanwhile, Atletico's consistency is also an issue as well. Atletico Madrid, despite being considered dark horses for the title, needs to find great consistency in their results. Drawing games that they should win, particularly with an advantage, could prove costly in the long run. And then obviously there's the emergence, because obviously the table has taken a different shape right now, because you can see that the likes of Elche and Alaves and co, they've kind of dropped off a little bit, and I'm going to give you the full breakdown of the table. The emergence of other teams, like, why the top three dominate narrative, teams like Villarreal, Real Betis, Sevilla are showcasing their potential to challenge for European spots and potentially disrupt the top teams, while Levante's victory over Real Oviedo, another newly promoted team, also suggests that the battle for survival could be intense. So, just to give you a few updates on the score lines of all the teams, all the games that happened. Osasuna beat Getafe 2-1. Getafe have lost again. They've lost in a game that obviously seemed to have been a very strong defensive team. And then we had Real Oviedo. So like I said, a few of the teams have dropped out of top six. Real Oviedo losing 2-0 to Levante away. At home. And then Girona beating 2-1. Beating Valencia 2-1, which is Valencia's, I think, second loss in a row. Girona beating them 2-1 at home. And then obviously Athletic Bilbao beat Real Mallorca 2-1. Real Madrid beat Villarreal 3-1. Deportivo Alaves beat Elche 3-1 at home. Sevilla beat Barcelona 4-1, high scoring side. Espanyol lost 1-2 to Real Betis in their home. And the Real Sociedad lost 0-1 to Rayo Vallecano in their home. And then Celta drew 1-1 with Atletico Madrid, and that was the only draw of the weekend. Now the table is the top 10: Real Madrid, Barcelona, Villarreal, Real Betis, Atletico Madrid number 5, Sevilla number 6, Elche number 7, Athletic Club number 8, Espanyol number 9, and then Deportivo Alaves drops down to 10 after 8 games. So we'll continue to review some of the things, but I'm going to give you like 5 things we learned from Matchday 7 of La Liga. So actually it's a Matchday 8. Sorry about that. So basically, it's a whole lot that had gone on. Basically, there's no 5 things. Basically, okay, let's say the 5 things. Let's just give the 5 things off the top of our head. Real Madrid go top, basically, and they have come back to winning ways, winning 2 consecutive games in a row. And then, Real Madrid go top. They've won 2 games in a row after beating Kirat Almaty and basically beating Villarreal, a strong Villarreal with red cards and stuff. And then the second thing is that Barcelona struggles again after losing back-to-back games in all competitions. Atletico Madrid have always had inconsistency issues and all of that. And then Sevilla back to winning ways, Girona back to winning ways, Getafe losing again, Villarreal losing again. And number 5, obviously that the table is taking a shape over after 8 games, and we shall see more after the international break, with Kylian Mbappé showing brutal consistency in scoring at least in his 9th game in a row. So Matchday 8 offers a glimpse into the potential storylines of the 25-26 campaign, especially for La Liga season, with Real Madrid setting the pace, Barcelona facing early tests, and Atletico seeking to find their championship form. The upcoming international break will provide a chance for teams to regroup and reassess before the season resumes. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. We'll continue to build towards what happens in La Liga and also in the Premier League. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to all things football. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Take care. Goodbye, and God bless.